Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Henry Danger movie. I have some notes laid out right here, basically about what I'm going to be talking about with the movies. I'm going to be going over the things I found to be good about the movie, the problems I had with the movie, and just my final thoughts, and maybe like just things I just genuinely enjoyed with the movie. And before we really get into it, this is a spoiler review. So if you don't want to get spoiled, you can click off now. But I do want to say, before you click off, if you're here just to know if you want to watch the movie or not, because I am a little late with the reaction. I assume some people have seen it by now. It's been out 6 days and counting, or 5-6 days-ish. It's January 22nd as I'm recording this. But if you haven't seen it and you just want to know if you should watch it, yes. Your quick answer is yes. If you're just here for that, that is my genuine answer. Yes, I think you should watch it. So you can click off, go watch it, and just come back to the video and hear what I have to say about the video. Now that that's out of the way, let's take my sip of water. This is why I don't typically do like face cam videos, but we're changing it up a little bit because I have short breath. Okay, so the first thing with the movie, we start off with Missy Martin, and I'm not gonna be breaking down the movie, by the way. I'm just going through bits and pieces, skipping blah blah blah. I might go back one part and then skip to the next part. She steals this RAD device, or stands for, I had to pause the movie to look at it, reality altering device, from a company named the Evil Science Corporation. And let's go over some let's go over the part. Okay, one problem, we're gonna start with things I like about the movie, and then we're gonna get into the problems. So one thing I liked about the movie, I really like the CGI. The movie looks very good, visually amazing. I really enjoyed the fight scenes. They were pretty good. I like the fact that Jasper wasn't exactly happy, like playing second fiddle to Henry, like being his sidekick. Because, okay, a few years ago, I think like a few years ago, characterized for Jasper, he probably would have thought that, like, he probably would have been happy, like just happy to just be by Henry's side. But they're a lot older now, and he's more mature, and it kind of shows the character growth of Jasper, that he's like not just on board with just being a sidekick. He wants to be like, they're business partners. Like he says in the movie, we're supposed to be business partners. So they should be business partners. They should be equal, 50-50. I'm glad Jasper addressed that. And I really think that, like, Henry is, his personality, like, seems like he'd be a little cocky, but like not too cocky where it seems like he's like a bully, or like kind of a person you wouldn't like. He's cocky, but not too cocky. And so it does make sense that this fight would happen, and Henry's like shrugging it off like it's not a big deal. Jasper, like, what are you making a big deal about? Water break. Like, what are you making a big deal about? I got you on the poster for Biz Watch, but he's clearly in the background, his face blurred, and the cheetah in the middle is a lot bigger than even he is. Okay, now that I got that out of the way, I really think the funniest scene in the movie, and I blew up watching this in the trailer, was when Henry, he's waking up from falling down into the portal, and he falls through the portal. He wakes up in Missy Martin's room, and he's like, oh, where am I? Where am I? And he looks in the mirror, and he's like, oh my god, I'm in hell. And I love that. Now, I knew Nickelodeon, it's still Nickelodeon, so like you wouldn't exactly completely get away with like cussing, but like, hey, it just made me smile a little bit because it was slightly a cuss word. I'm gonna give it some credit. Very mature, very mature of the movie. I like that they toned up the more seriousness. I'm glad it wasn't as goofy as like the Henry Danger sitcom. It was more serious because the tone made it look serious. Dystopia as a city looks a lot more, serious. And they've grown up a bit, so obviously it wouldn't be as goofy. It just makes sense. Okay. Another thing I wrote down. I love that in the callbacks, Henry Danger shows the fact that like, when they're in Missy Martin's room. So Missy Martin basically points out like how are Jasper and like Charlotte, and Henry's like, how do you know about them? And she's like, look, and she like freaking she's obsessed with and this makes sense with her character. She's obsessed with Henry, so she has like this little flip book, flips it up, him with the mask, him without the mask. Put two and two together. It's Henry Hart. Henry Hart is Kid Danger. And it really makes a lot of sense because she is a super fan. It makes sense with her character that she would easily find out who he is. And she doesn't live in Swellview. She lives in Newtown, which, by the way, pretty whack name. Like, they got kind of lazy, but it doesn't matter. She lives in Newtown, so she's not, like, stupid like the people in Swellview. It's literally everybody was stupid. How did you not figure it out? I know it's part of the show. It's just a kid's show. But how did you not figure it out, man? Okay. So, last thing I liked, and then we're going to get into the negatives. Frank Keeney. Frank Keeney was a great comic relief character. I really liked his songs. I really liked that they gave him like a nightclub. He was more like a performer. I feel like that's within his character. He's always liked theater, and like, as you can see in the Henry Danger musical, he clearly has a lot of good vocal talent. So kudos to that. I think that's kind of like a callback because he's singing and the musical. You get my point. Okay. One more thing I want to say about Frank Keeney. I didn't even think of it. It's literally in my notes. So Frank Keeney, sees Piper, the villain Piper, with her vampire makeup, and he's like, it's giving. That made me laugh. That made me laugh a lot. I really feel like that's something you would actually say. So like, it really does make sense with his character. Okay, let's get into the problems of this movie. What are we starting with? Let me slide down. Okay, and I watched the movie twice, 2 times. That's why it took me a little longer for my review to come out. Also, we just had a bunch of snow, so I was kind of, hanging out with friends. That's not the point. So, first question and problem with the movie. Where's the main villain? Who is the main villain? Because it feels, in the movie, it feels like Henry's fighting a lot of side villains. Because, he goes through Missy Martin's portal, and so he's fighting, not Missy Martin's portal, but the portal, and he's fighting like Missy Martin's fan fiction characters. And a lot of these characters, villains, whatever, easy, no matchup. I never really had a feeling, and this is another problem I had. I never really had a feeling in a movie where it felt like Henry was actually gonna like get defeated, or there was any kind of worry, because these villains, they had to nerf him in the movie by not letting him have his powers when he's fighting these fan fiction characters. And I think that's really like a huge blow to the movie, because it's been if you haven't seen the Danger Force, it's been quite a while since you've seen Henry in action. We obviously want to see those like how stronger he's gotten, and his powers and stuff. We want to see him show off his powers. So for him to not even use them fighting all these villains, these side villains, it's kind of disappointing. Don't get me wrong, the action was still good. The hand-to-hand combat, pretty good, but still, it's a little bit of a bummer. Okay, next thing. Who is the villain towards the end? Oh, wait. Oh, no. So my first question was, where is the villain, or where is the main villain? Like, who is the main villain? And now the second question is, who is the main villain towards the end? Like, basically, is the villain, like, is the main villain of the movie Blackout? Because it seemed from the beginning of the movie like Blackout would play more of a bigger role in the movie, and he just didn't. He's just, he shows up in the beginning, turns off all the lights in Dystopia, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, it's finna go down. And despite the fact that was an amazing little fight scene, it ended so quick. It was like, I don't know, 6-7 minutes runtime, and Henry kind of throws him around like he's nothing. And this is kind of an issue I had in the movie. I didn't think about it the first time, but the second time I watched it, I was like, wait a minute, Blackout, who is... I was like, doesn't that name sound familiar? Like, wasn't he in the Henry Danger verse? And I thought back to the Danger Force season 1, episode 8, where, Henry runs back to Swellview, and, Captain Man's all happy to see him. He's all jittery like a schoolgirl, like, oh, let's go, Henry, you're back. Like, you came back for me. And it's revealed later in the episode, Henry came back because he was terrified of Blackout. And this Blackout guy, he shows up, and Henry's telling, like, Captain Man, like, Blackout's nothing to play with. He's a bounty hunter. He eats people's souls. Okay. Anyway, he's a bounty hunter. He eats people's souls and stuff like that. So he seems like pretty terrifying of a villain. And despite, like, the way he kind of goes out in that Danger Force episode, he's made to be a big deal. He's made to be a big villain. And I know you can, like, argue and say, like, oh, well, it's obvious Henry Danger would easily, like, no diff Blackout because, like, he's grown. It's been years. And that was in season 1 of Danger Force compared to season 3 by the end, so that it's at least like a 2-3 year gap. So obviously Henry Danger would be a lot stronger than Blackout. But, like, have you seen any show or movie? Obviously, while the hero gets stronger, the villain also gets stronger. Like, it makes sense, right? Like, why would... And even in the shows, like shows and movies, while the villain gets stronger, sure, the hero eventually, like, when he defeats that person, they get stronger. So while they're improving, they're never gonna ever catch up to that rate, most likely. But I think there's a little bit of an inconsistency with the movie that I seen watching it the second time, because in the end, he comes back again. Like, Blackout comes back again at the very end. And I'm like, okay, I'm thinking this is the final showdown, the one to do it all, I don't know. And so, they're fighting, and Blackout gets destroyed in like 5 minutes of runtime again. Like, they're treating him like Jeff from the from Henry Danger's, like, show. Like, they're treating him like a joke villain, in my opinion. And I think he should have had more of a bigger role or something. Maybe he should have followed Henry through the portal or whatever and, like, jumped down there or something. And he would have had to fight him as a big bad final villain. Or I thought maybe, like, this evil science corporation that Missy Martin stole the reality altering device, or RAD, from, would play more of a bigger role. But after she steals this device, they never come after her in the movie. That's something that needs to be cleared up. Maybe in the second movie, water break. Maybe that's something that needs to be cleared up, but I won't harp on that too much or think about that too much, knowing that they left the movie kind of open-ended with, Captain Man coming back. We'll talk about that in a second. But with Captain Man coming back, maybe there's obviously going to be either a second movie or a TV show, and I'm thinking it's probably going to be more of a TV show with Missy Martin as the new main character, Henry as the teacher, kind of like the Captain Man Henry dynamic in season 1 of Henry Danger. Like, he's the little sidekick, she's the little sidekick, He's the new top hero. Okay, what else? What other problems do I have with this? How does Missy Martin know how to operate the RAD device at 12 years old? It's revealed she's 12 years old. How does she know how to operate this device? And I know she says, "Do you want me to take you back, Henry?" And she starts flipping the buttons, and she kind of starts to explain how Henry got there. So it sounds like she knows some history on the RAD device or whatever. But even if she knew a little bit about the device, how does she know how to use it? It was top secret. It's in this Evil Science Corporation's facility. Like, how does she know how to use it so fast? She literally brings it home and starts firing it up, typing on her computer, and boom, lightning strikes. I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too deep on it. It's just a kid's movie, but still. The club scene in the middle of the movie. This club scene, I swear, it's like out of like a 1 hour and 40 something minute movie, I swear the club scene takes up like 30 minutes of the movie, because by the end of the club scene, it's like almost halfway or a little past halfway of the movie. And I think, okay, the ending. We're making this review super long. The end off this review. Let's talk about it. So, Missy Martin and Henry Danger, you know, they're on their little first mission. They go through this little building. They bust the corner, and who do they see fighting? Pew, 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 through the smoke. It's Captain Man. Hey, kid. It's Captain Man. Captain Man is back. I jumped out of my bed because now, since there was no final fight, because I expected there to be some kind of final fight, and by the time they got to Dystopia and defeated Blackout so easily, I was like, man, is this the end? Like, I don't feel like the movie was complete. There was no grand finale. There was no big ending. And out of nowhere, in like the last 5 minutes of the movie, Captain Man appears. Oh man. It was great. It was great. That really put a lot more of a, I feel like that little appearance alone made it feel like a Marvel movie where you have to watch past the credits to see the final act of what's being teased for the next movie or something. And that made the movie from like a 7 out of 10, like a good movie, to like a great movie, because the moment was so cool. Captain Man had his longer hair. He had a little bit of a beard going on. You know, his clothes were all dirty and stuff. Like, he was going through a crazy battle, and he needs Henry Danger's help. So I guess we're going to find out in like a year or two from now, when the next movie or show comes out, what's exactly going to happen. And yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe down below, and let me know down in the comments, what did y'all think of this movie if you've already watched it? What do you rank it? What do you review it as? And sorry it took me so long to finally record this video and start this review, but I'm trying to be more consistent. I got y'all. Peace out.